it's a big win for our program, and I'm really excited for the team, and our fans were just absolutely tremendous. Again, I don't think we win that game if we're not at home. So a big thank you, continued thank you to our administration for believing in how important home games are in this tournament. I was about as positive as I can be as a coach tonight in huddles, saying just be tough, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. I thought we had a run in us. I thought if we could get that crowd just a few more times on our side, that we had a chance maybe to get to the finish line. But if there's a better time to lead, if you're going to lead one time in the game, we picked a great time to lead. So excited. The other thing, is there's lots of plays, good and bad, throughout that game. But at this time of the year, it's really about your seniors. Either it's going to be their last game, or they're going to keep fighting. And so for that last play to be Tabitha drawing attention and dumping to Simone, and Simone make that layup, couldn't script it any better for that senior class. That's what happened at the end, because I'm proud to be able to keep working with them and what they've done in the short time that we've been here to raise this program. So a lot of credit to Northwestern, great respect for their coaching staff. They are a fantastic young program that's really going to make noise in the Big Ten for the next few years. And they just, no one deserved to lose that game. Everyone fought hard, and they for most of the game outplayed us. Every time we made a run, we would miss a layup, they'd make a big three. We'd miss a foul shot, they'd make a big layup. We feel like we'd have a possession that could really get it to a single possession game, and they would jump in a passing lane and get a steal. So a lot of credit to Northwestern. Great young program, fantastic coach, and I look forward to many battles with our young teams in the future.
Coach, you've had a lot of teams during your time at Bowling Green that made a lot of postseason noise in the NCAA tournament, but this team, how much fun is this team to coach, and is it one of the most fun that you've had as a coach?
It's such a feel-good story because of where we've come from, and a lot of nights we have less talent, so we've got to be gritty. We have to execute. They have to believe in the game plan. They got to believe in each other. They got to live in the moment, enjoy this. And so, for as much success as I've had as an assistant coach or a head coach, I haven't won 3 straight postseason games in my career. So this is new territory for me. We've lost, in the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. We've lost in this round in the NIT. So this is a big step in my career, too, to find 3 postseason wins. But it's absolutely been a rewarding year because I feel like we are exceeding expectations. You could not have gotten me to believe that this team had a chance to tie the school record for most wins in school history, and now we have another game to try to single-handedly have that. And so really rewarding year, and I'm really happy for them and that senior class that has had a lot of adversity throughout their career.
You said a couple times that these are not games that this team would have won in November. What specifically allows them to, especially in these games that are decided by 1 point, 3 points, things like that, what specifically has allowed them to have such success late here?
We're tougher now maybe than we were in November. I mean, on the board the whole week, and in pregame talk was out tough, be the tougher team. And, they really took that to heart, and we found ways in this postseason to win differently. We gave up some big leads in the first couple rounds, but survived. Tonight, we had to scratch and claw, and it never felt like we could get there. It was 6, and then it was back to 10, and then it was 7, and it was back to 11, but they just hung in there, and I really believe that they're a tougher team. And there's a swagger that I like to coach, not an arrogance, not a cockiness, just a swagger that this team believes in what we're doing. And tonight we had to press some to try to get them off rhythm. We had to go zone in big plays late in the games, and we haven't had to do that a ton throughout the year, and they just found a way. And so there's this swagger that this team is creating for themselves, which I've tried to instill in them the whole year, and you're really now seeing it. We made mistakes where we would have hung our heads earlier in the year, some of the turnovers, some of the decisions against their press, but they looked at me and shook their head. We got it. They talked positively in huddles, and so I'm proud of them. We're growing up. We are truly growing up before everybody's eyes.
Coach, just what does it mean to you to set or tie the program record for wins in a season, especially given with how far this program has come with seniors like Simone having won a combined 15 games their freshman and sophomore year?
Well, I've told them now many times as we set records and do some special things that they can never be taken out of the record books. They're there forever, and they're leaving a legacy. And if we continue to build the program like I have a vision to, we're going to look back at this team is the building foundation and the building blocks for where we hopefully eventually will go. And I hope they look back at it with pride. I think that senior class is really, really genuinely excited about what has transpired now this year.
During a lot of that second half, you went with a post of Lindsey Lycum and Malika Taufa. What made you decide to put in Taufa and Simone back in down the stretch there?
Well, their post game at Northwestern is truly glorified big threes. I mean, they have Nia Coffey is a McDonald's All-American. She is a top 50 kid in the country. She is an elite player that in a lot of programs would play exclusively the three. Lauren Douglas is, recruited to be a three player. And when they play them at the 4 and 5, it's a really tough matchup for traditional centers. And so we had to go with a small lineup to match their ability to dribble penetrate in the post position. And we weren't perfect, but it was the decision. Plus, Tabitha and Lindsay give us a little bit more ball handling, give us a little bit more perimeter shooting when we needed ourselves. And that last play, is all made. That is not great execution. That is players making plays down the stretch, and Tabitha got the penetration, read the help, and made a good pass.
Is there a little extra significance to beating a Northwestern, to beating a Big Ten team that you guys didn't beat in the regular season as part of that growth that you mentioned earlier?
Absolutely. I still think we're a little bit fragile when it comes to Big Ten teams, and we may play another one because we haven't had a great deal of success. We've improved. We've been in games, but being 15-0 against non-conference opponents or having the record we have against Big Ten, that is a boost of confidence tonight for us in the long run that we beat a Big Ten team. And neither team played very well the first game, but it's glaring when you miss the amount of foul shots we missed and lost a close game that you felt like you gave one away. And so for us to come back and get a close game is big for us. And it's no secret Northwestern has lost a lot of close games, and so we just kept saying, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. We may get a shot to win this.
I was going to ask about that, Coach. There's obviously been night and day. Like, there's so much time since you played them back in January, but still the fact that you missed all those free throws in that game, what other differences did you see in this one, the execution or whatever it was that made it possible to win this one?
Well, I thought we continued to be in attack mode. I thought we were fearless taking threes. We had to make 11 threes to win this game, and we had to fire away. But what I thought we did was we played more up-tempo. That game grinded to the low 50s. And in the beginning of our game, we were on track to score 40 points in the game. And I looked at him in one of the timeouts and say, we cannot win this game in the 40s. We've got to get this game up tempo. You saw firsthand with that film, we didn't like our tempo against them the first time. So we just kept talking about attacking and tempo. Even if we make some mistakes, we had to play more aggressively. And I thought we did. I thought it got more up tempo.
I know when you first took the coaching job here that you had vision crowds than what they have been averaging. How close was tonight to what you had envisioned?
You know, exactly what we envisioned and exactly what happened at Bowling Green. And tonight was incredible crowd, and it was loud. It was an educated crowd. And again, we had a student body, you know, tonight. Like that, I can't explain how important that is for our growth to get, you know, the student body here on our side. We had a lot of athletes here tonight. And athletes supporting athletes is a big deal within the athletic department. Our players thrive on that. They really appreciate when their peers of other sports teams come out and support them. To look around and see other very successful athletes here on campus here tonight when they could be watching the Sweet 16 men's games is a big deal. So my vision is bigger, even more somewhere down the line. But if we could play in front of a crowd like that every night, it would be tough to beat us here.
Coach, Coach, by advancing, you guys now have a chance to set the record for program wins in the season. Just what does that opportunity mean to you?
Well, for the players, I'm excited, but we won't dwell on that. Right now, we're going to focus on 4-minute battles against whoever we play. We're certainly more familiar with Minnesota. Our prep and our turnaround will be easier. If South Dakota pulls off the win, and South Dakota State pulls out the win tonight, we have a lot of all-nighters coming up as a coaching staff to get ready for a very, very talented team who beat Penn State, our #1 team in the league, who's had big wins, who is undefeated, and if they win tonight, will stay undefeated at home. And so not only will we be interested in where the game is, but we'll be interested here in the next hour on who wins that game. So we're going to concentrate on that game and 4-minute battles. And we understand long term, if we get that win, it's a record-setting win. But we're not going to talk about that much. We're going to talk about Minnesota or South Dakota State.